this is a pet peeve I have. When I see a host or any comedian piggyback on another comedian's joke. I know this is a me thing, but everyone else don't feel the same way. Meaning, let's say a comedian performs and he has a joke about getting spanked by his grandfather. And then the next comedian goes up, or the host goes back on stage and was like, man, I got spanked by my grandfather too. And then he goes into his version, but he would have never thought of it if it wasn't for. So it's kind of like he's piggybacking on someone else's premise.
I think it depends. If you, as a host, if you go and you say something very quick,
right,
I'm okay with it. If it turns into a whole bit that you never thought of, then it's like, okay, settle down a little bit.
I think that's how I feel too.
But if it's just something really quick.
Oh, you mad because it was funnier than your bit?
That's never happened to me because my shit is exceptional.
That happened at the Laugh Factory the other. Takara was hosting. A comic got up and was like fumbling on their last joke. You know, it was a good premise though. So she gets on stage. She goes, "Well, what he meant to say was," and killed his joke.
Ooh.
And was so much funnier than him on his joke. Not that she was gonna keep it or anything like that, but she was the host. But she murdered this joke and it like described it, everything better, acted it out better, whatever. So I don't think she was stealing his joke. She was definitely piggybacking, and she rewrote it. I told him to keep her joke. Give it his.
Yeah, I do that when I host.
Do you?
I'll piggyback and I'll,
but
I'll like find an angle or do my angle or whatever. But then, afterwards, if some magic happens, if something good happens, I'll be like, you can have that.
Oh, okay. So you'll give it back. You'll give it back to him.
Yeah, because I can generate
the
premise.
Disrespect.
You can have your joke.
No. I fixed it for you.
No, but I'm saying that like you generated the premise, it belongs to you. But if you found something with me just playing around with it, then yeah.
See, I feel. Want to fuck your feelings. The premise is the joke, right? I feel like the premise is not the joke, but the premise is that's the core. That's the foundation. Yeah. So my thing is always go to this one. Chris Rock's, there's a difference between black people and niggas. So I'm always thinking, what if Chris Rock started working out that joke, and then the host or somebody else is like, man, it is a difference between black people and niggas, and then he then went off and created his own shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, what if that would have been taken, and now you doing your version of the joke, Chris Rock doing his version of the joke, but Chris Rock was the person that originated that premise. That's my issue.
I think like with the difference between black people and niggas, I think gang people do that. They're not going to do it like he do it, but a bunch of people do. There are certain premises that can't be stolen. Like if I have a joke about Target.
Hold on. Nobody had a difference between black people and niggas joke before Chris Rock.
Well, I'm just saying in general.
Okay.
We don't have to talk about that particular, but I'm just saying there have been people who have called me and been like, yo, such and such stole your joke because they said they daddy won't shit. I was like, well, a lot of us ain't shit daddies.
That's true.
And then when I heard the joke, I was like, that's not my joke at all. That's not my experience. I think we get really caught up in saying somebody stole something, without actually listening to what they're saying.
Yeah. I mean, the reason when I piggyback, I'm like, you can have it, is because for me, it's not gonna leave that show.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, I might go in, it might just be a meaty premise that, I can wring a lot of funny out of, but at the end of the day, the next show I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna
take that with you.
Take your starting and then my ending and do that. Like, but that's also why I'm like, you can have it because you came with that. That's what you wanted to say, or that's what came out while you were on stage. So
I think hosts use it as a transition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because in a lot of shows that you're hosting,
1000%.
you don't have a lot of time in between the comics, right? If we're rolling the show. So you might want to just keep that energy up while you're going before you bring up Vanessa Graddick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, his grandmama, something, and next comes to the stage, whatever we're doing.
Yeah, because I'd rather you do that and just do a quick little thing off something I did rather than cuss somebody out over some boots for 15 minutes.
Well, first of all, boots are life. Boots are life.
I mean, if I had to have my jokers about
boots are life. Boots are life. I don't care.
Plus, the way I do it, it's always in a thought process of, remember, audience, how much you like this person's joke. Remember how much you like that they did, and then a little aside. and then bring somebody up. So at least that's what I think I'm doing. Maybe
it could be just props, like like that was hilarious.
Nah, that ain't it. Rob just be out there stealing, but I feel like I'm just having fun creating off the fly, like kind of showing the audience like, hey, I
really do this.
I really do this, and also I can, like they have that immediate like, oh, he didn't know that they were gonna say that, and then he took us here, So,
all right.
Yeah, most witty people we pick up on what's happening right now with us. Like, you know what I mean? If you're witty.
Okay.
Don't be mad.
I think it's fun for everybody.
Hey man. I forgot about you being prideful, by the way.
I mean, no, it's whack. It's whack if they take that and they
develop it.
They're fishing for bits as a host. That's whack.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Okay. That's all I'm saying. All right, so I agree with that. I agree. We agree. So we all agree. We all agree. I'm with that. I'm with that to keep the show going and piggyback and real, say something quick, or maybe get it really helping the other comedian. It's kind of almost like you tagging this shit like, here, bro, take that. Gotta make that shit funnier. I respect that.
I want me down, I get it. Hate that I keep winning. Stab my back, it's tempting.